Hello, welcome to Gin and Talkin episode 12.
Oh my god, we are 12 episodes in.
Yeah, and apparently I was reading online that 10 episodes is like the threshold. Like most podcasts will end at 10 episodes, and if you continue post 10 episodes, there's a huge likelihood that you will continue to 100 episodes, which is our goal, if you remember.
Yes, we will do 100,000 episodes.
100,000 episodes.
Yes, that is our goal.
Yes, 100,000 episodes, one per week. That means we will live for 700 years.
And then, yeah, we will do it in our graves.
Wow.
नहीं ये तो जलेगा ना.
नहीं मतलब पॉडकास्ट के लिए मैं ग्रेव में चला जाऊंगा कोई दिक्कत नहीं एनीथिंग फॉर द फैंस
Wow, yes, anything for the fans.
या आवर टू फैंस हेलो
No, we have more than 2.
3
Yes, to our 3 and only 3 fans.
yes which is
Who
more
will
than
outlive us,
which is better
probably.
than 0 you fuckers have 0 We'll start the episode with the 90-10 rule that you wanted to share with me. What is the 90-10 rule?
So apparently it's in like the relationship that when we have like an ideal type, like everybody has like, oh, an ideal type, I want this type of a partner.
Yeah.
So that would be like nobody will get like 100% same ideal type person.
Of course.
But normally when we want to settle in, we go for like the most the one that will be the most equal to that, similar to that
yeah,
ideal type.
like
So
matlab, it matches most of your criteria.
yeah, so like 90% we will look for somebody who's like almost 90% is that ideal type.
Yeah.
So now most people, even after ending up with that 90% of that ideal type,
Which is a very like amazing situation to be in.
yeah, that is great.
Yeah.
But then they all, like some people, they will seek for that 10% that person does not have, or they just think that, oh, this person is lacking that 10%.
Oh, like let's say you have a partner who fits all of your criteria,
Yeah,
but they are not 6'5",
yeah, probably.
right? Whatever. I'm just making a thing up, and they are not 6'5". Now you will go and seek someone who is 6'5", right? But doesn't have any of the other criteria. But
Yeah,
then for that 10%, you will sacrifice the 90%,
yeah,
and then regret because most of the good things that were there with the previous partner you don't have anymore.
yes,
Is that
like that. And so I saw this therapist, like a couple therapists, talk about how she came across men or even women who had cheated on their partners, just seek out for that 10% because it was thrilling to
Wow.
talk to somebody new, or that colleague that they hang out with, because they give them that quote unquote butterfly in their stomach. And they
Yeah.
would when they would tell that to the therapist, they would be like, I feel that she's everything that my wife is missing, or something like that, my husband is missing, my partner is missing. And she would tell them that before you go ahead with whoever this other person is, think of what it would be like, because you will end up with this only 10% of the category. Like, she explains the 9-10 rule to them and tells them that, think of it like, even if you do whatever you do, then you leave your partner, the partner that you have now, for them, you just end up with somebody who is just the 10% of what you want your partner to be. Would you want to be with that person? Because all of these emotions right now are just fleeting. They will go away. They are there for the moment, because you just want to feel that honeymoon phase, or that butterfly that you're feeling right now, that excitement of talking, of being like, oh, somebody is interested on me maybe, and somebody has. Why don't you rebuild that with your own partner? Why don't you do the same things, go out on dates where you both feel, oh, I'm attracted to this person and they are attracted to me, and that why don't you do that instead of going outside?
But is this conversation happening pre-cheating or post-cheating? That's what's important to me.
No, she is talking. The thing is, obviously,
She's mostly talking to people who have cheated already.
she's talking in general. She's not telling what is
No,
happening.
but in the
But
scenario
she's
that
also
she's
talking about when people, because nobody will be like, oh, I have cheated or I am going to cheat. But when people talk, she also was telling about when people, when she comes across people who are like, oh, I'm talking to this person or this colleague and I feel these feelings that I don't feel with my partner anymore, like that.
Yeah.
She then also explains about these things. And she obviously tells that to people who have cheated as well.
Yeah. I also think that, and I might sound very biased when I say this, but I feel like this is more a problem with women. You know why? Why say that? It's because simply the opportunity exists more, is what I mean. Like as a man, if you have one girlfriend, that is a feat. Someone liked you, big deal. Right? It's probably never going to happen again. Never ever. It was mistake on the girl's part. But but with a woman, it's often women will ignore the fact that their colleague, their friend wants to sleep with them.
Yeah, but they are just
And
telling that just because they ignored, that means they're sleeping with them.
no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that if they have this thought, ki I want to seek out this 10%, women are more likely to, women and men both will try. Okay, women are more likely to succeed, is what I mean.
But who are they succeeding with? Other women.
Other men, other women also. Yes, ma'am. Like bisexual power, whatever. But my point being that both will attempt, and the attempt itself in my mind is that kar liya cheating, right? You don't have to go ahead and complete it. Like just the moment a PP enters a VV does not mean that is the moment when a cheating happens.
Or a VV also
Goes into like slides on another PP.
touches another VV.
Yeah, that
Or
that,
a PP also touches another PP.
yeah, like a sexual act does not have to happen for it to be cheating.
Or a booty touches a PP.
Oh my God, let's go back. Take
You
a step back.
started it.
Let's take a step back. My point being that I feel like men and women both attempt to seek that 10%, but women succeed more. Just because women are better than men.
He's saying that because he's a feminist.
I'm not a feminist. I'm a femme.
He's a femboy.
Please, no. I don't like these jokes. I get too many fuck all comments anyways. Don't want to confirm any rumors.
He is a masculine boy, okay?
Yes.
Who is...
Wearing a crop shirt.
Nobody could see that. You just said it.
Don't see it.
Wow.
Yeah, no. So, anyways, don't seek that 10% people. Because, see, we have all been... I think we've all been guilty of this at some point of time or the other.
Of what?
Seeking that 10%. But there's a caveat to this, right?
I'm better than everybody.
No, listen, there's a caveat to this. Sometimes this advice can also be taken in the wrong way. What if the 10% does not beat me?
What?
90% that person has everything, okay? And the 10% in the list is not abusive. Right? Then seeking that 10% is valid. Seek someone who is not abusive.
Yes. Then cheating is okay.
No, no need to cheat and all that. Just chod ke bhago. But my point being that the 10% could be a deal breaker, right? So it's important to balance it. Like, does not mean ki everyone who is with someone is with a good person, right?
Yes, I think that
Sometimes
was
it's okay to
given.
leave, but leave and then do whatever, right? Don't do it. Don't string people along. That's the worst problem. Like, see, if someone is good to you and they are 90%, they don't have 10%, whatever, then you leave them and then you go hook up with someone or whatever you do, and then you become miserable because you regret it, that's fine because you hurt yourself, right? You hurt that person also, but if you had that in the mind in the first place, then they're probably better off without you. So leave them, go seek it, hurt yourself, that is fine. As in, like, emotionally hurt yourself, don't physically harm yourself.
That came from some place of some place.
Yeah, that came from truth because that happened to me.
Oh my god, I didn't want to say anything, I just said that's why I didn't
Yeah,
say.
I am okay to share all that because some women be bitches. It's true. Some women do be bitches, right? I remember the first time I made a video about my issues with my relationship, the past one, after breaking up. I had to delete it because women kept coming in the comments supporting the girl. It's like, as it happens, what तुमने ही कुछ किया होगा, without knowing anything. They मेरे को ही गाली दे रहे. She must have had a reason to do what she did. I didn't know. Sometimes people are just assholes.
Yeah, I think it's because like in general, if you see, it's mostly men in the relationship that are trash, but then the problem is
That is
we've
not true. I don't believe it. I have seen enough women be trash in relationships that it's. I think men and women are equally bad.
wow.
It's just
No,
men.
I'm saying in terms of gender inequality.
That's what I was getting to. Men and women both are equally garbage in the
No.
same percentages. Just
What
that
I
men have
mean is
violent tendencies
men,
on top of
no,
that.
not violent tendencies. There are other things that men get away with because that's okay for men to be. It's okay for men to not be emotionally available for women, to be
But this is my problem.
incompetent.
This is my problem. I started the conversation about my issue. Why did this have to transition
I am
into
telling
the
you the
fact that
reason
men
why.
are worse? Why did the conversation even have to go
That's what
there?
I was telling you. You didn't let me complete.
Okay, let's complete it.
So the reason is in general that is the case because I'll tell you at least someone who has been with a man who is a straight woman has faced it in some way or the other. So it comes from a generalized experience that all of them have, and it has its negatives because it will affect like personal when you are sharing your personal story on the internet. People see it from a lens of a very generalized lens that oh this is what happens in the world, so obviously it's you who are at fault and you're just telling your side of the story, which is also a problem. Not saying that that's okay because at the end of the day things that we see on the internet, when people tell their stories, it's not about us to be like no, I am the judge of it, I know what went right, what went wrong, because we see it as we think that oh, because I am here listening to a story and I have some experience, I can just blatantly say that this is no, this happened or that happened, I don't know. And we think that because we are on the other side, and then face to face nobody will say that, or maybe they might, some people are trash like that. But what I'm saying is a lot of times even personal experiences become not valued enough because of these generalized experiences that people have.
There's an element of bias on the internet,
Obviously there
which
is.
is uh, which is rooted in just personal issues, which is that see, women, like straight women, what experience do they have with other straight women? None.
What do you
No
mean
romantic
none?
uh, experiences, right? A straight woman does not know what garbage some straight women are because they have not been in a relationship with straight women because they are straight, right? Who will know that some straight women are garbage and what some straight women are like in relationships? Straight men will know that, right? Who else will know? So like how straight women should not come in and be like, okay, मेरे को पता है लड़कियां कैसी होती रिलेशन में, तुम्हें नहीं पता है. डेट किया हो कभी किसी लड़की को? You have no, there's no clue, right? So but the thing is that women are more allowed to share their personal stories on the internet. It's more acceptable to come on a video and say that this is what happened to me. That same luxury is not given to men.
Well, that is also a very sad part that I don't know. Again, I mostly what I will also talk from like what my personal experience is. Like I have mostly seen men being trash to men, but also could be because I was in a different kind of a circle or a different kind of a bubble.
Yeah.
Could be that.
No, men and women both have been trash to me. I'm saying in a relationship, only women have been trash to me.
Yeah, because you have dated only women.
Exactly. That is what I mean. So to straight women, who will be trash in relationships? Straight men only, na? How would you know? You have no context. So you cannot claim to understand. Just like I cannot claim to understand what it's like to be a woman in the world. I can listen and empathize, but I will never truly know. Right? Similarly, women will never truly know what it's like to date women, except bisexual women. But even they would only
Or
know
lesbian.
what it's or lesbian women who would only know what it's like to be with lesbian and bisexual women.
Well, not always.
They are in relation with straight women.
Yeah, sometimes straight women try out new things.
वो तो फिर वो bi curious हो गया ना.
Yeah, but then bi
They are
curiosity
exploring.
also
They are
ends,
not.
no?
They are
And
not
then they
sure.
realize that, oh, I'm not bi curious, I'm not even bi, I actually still like men. That also happens.
Fine. My point was not that. The different labels did not need to come out.
No,
Whatever anyone.
I am just saying because yes, what you're saying is
I'm
right.
saying that whatever I have experienced, a woman will never experience that. That's just the baseline, because the women I have been with, they know they are straight women, and they will never be with women. So being with those women will not be the case. So they will never truly know that, right?
Yes.
So yeah, so they don't have the, like, in my opinion, they don't have the right to immediately vilify me if I talk about something. Because if I were to immediately do that to a woman, I would be trashed
Yes.
pretty wildly on the internet. But there is a sense of amongst our bubble of the internet, which is a small bubble of the internet, there is a luxury that is given to women that हाँ जाके कुछ भी बोल के आ जाओ भाई, क्या दिक्कत है?
Do you think कुछ भी बोल के आ जाओ is like a thing? Do you think women don't get backlash
What?
for saying anything they want?
That is why I mentioned very clearly, in our bubble of the internet, which is a very small bubble of the internet. Because the Andrew Tate side is much bigger. But we are not talking about that. We have spoken about that before also. वहाँ पे तो लड़की लोग को ही गाली पड़ता है. I am talking about our bubble of the internet. Like in the video, which I had to delete, where I got abuses or whatever, women gave me abuses. Who replied to those and supported them? Women. Right? Men came उनके comments में और उनको ही गाली पड़ा. 2-3 men came and then men will not comment. किसी को गाली नहीं सुनना ना. No one wants to keep hearing abuses. So the point being, in our bubble of the internet, there is this कि अच्छा ठीक है, it's under the guise of punching up, कुछ भी बोल के निकल लो, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. Do you feel that's not the case?
I guess.
What did you mean by women don't get backlash or get backlash?
No, I meant like, no, what you were saying was that if women, when they present their stories or when they speak their hearts out,
They get backlash.
they
yes.
don't get back, like
They do
they're
get
allowed
backlash.
to. So I said
But
they
they
also,
get backlash also.
yeah. But you're talking about a very different day.
Yes, but like in go to any thread about women, I think it's more reasonable in the sense that women get backlash on even am I the asshole stuff, on Reddit or on Instagram, etc. But there is some sort of reasonality behind when women give backlash to other women. It's something strong has to be there. They will not just do it like that. That's what I feel. Do you feel women will give backlash to other women on the internet for no reason?
Yes, there are women who do that.
How many?
Especially because of TikTok.
Do you think that's a majority?
I cannot say like a percentage or anything. I cannot even say if it's majority or minority, because I have made my internet consumption like I have made sure that it is very much on the left, very much on the I don't want to see bullshit, so I will just be
Yeah.
over here because I don't want to ruin my mental health. I have no idea about that. But the thing is, I have seen women being, and it's normally like a clash between right or left wing women, or even sometimes like content people who are self-obsessed people. They will,
Yeah.
yeah,
Apparently, I was reading this online that more women have turned conservative in the last 5 to 10 years
how
than
I
men.
read it. I read ulta.
No, I think you misread the graph.
No, it was how men are being more conservative while women are being more independent and being
No,
in the
that I'm not talking about that graph. I'm talking about the number of women and the number of men. That's what I'm saying. So, like, the number of men who are liberal/conservative has more or less stayed the same, whereas it is the opposite for women.
yeah.
I hope I am correct about that.
Yeah, exactly.
I need to verify this.
Exactly, because I saw totally something opposite.
Okay, I'll verify this. So you were correct that that women are being more liberal by the day, by the years, but there is more nuance to it, right? Which is that in pre 2013, only 3 in 10 women aged 18 to 29 used to be liberal. Only 3 in 10. That's 30%, right? Now it's 40%. So it's only a 10-point jump, right? And most women are still conservative, right? In terms of percentages. Now, if you look at men used to what is this? There has been a 5-point increase since 1999 in the percentage of men aged 30 to 49 identifying as liberal, from 17 to 22%, and a 6-point increase from 12 to 18% among 65 and older. At the same time, there has been essentially no long-term change among men aged 18 to 29. Okay. So around 50% of men are liberal now, and they were that previously as well. And women have become more liberal, but only from 30 to 40%.
And this is
So more men are liberal today than women.
men were always the same, so nothing changed for men.
Yeah, but men have always been more liberal
Yeah,
than
because
women.
men have had freedom for a longer period of time than women.
True that.
You have to
Makes
take
sense.
that into account.
But this is about the US.
Doesn't matter.
The US has
US was
been
slower than India.
in
उनका
terms of
female president ही नहीं है.
no, in terms of over here, president has no power. She just signs.
No, we at least have prime minister.
Okay. That was long back.
So what?
And
Before
then
anyone.
she was the one of the worst ones we had.
Oh my god, you will get some hate for that.
She wanted to just snip people's testicles. She wanted to neuter the populace.
Anywho. No,
Did she not
but
want to do that? Was it Indira Gandhi or Rajiv Gandhi wanted to do that?
I don't know.
One of them wanted to neuter the populace because they thought the end to poverty is poor people not reproducing.
Yeah, not education.
Yeah. Education, a beneficiary fund. लड़ काटो सबका.
That's not how vasectomy works.
मैंने नहीं कराया है. तेरे को बड़ा एक्सपीरियंस है? करवाया है क्या?
Yes.
कब कराया था?
What do you think I am?
Oh, that is you are a eunuch.
No. Anywho,
So yeah, my point being, men are more liberal today than women.
Yes, what I was saying was because they have had more freedom, more things, like they can be more free.
Yes.
And women have always been a tool
Yes.
for
Beasts
this.
of what's the term? Beasts of birth and
Yeah.
burden of the house and all of that.
So
And that is
even
what's weird. Like, sorry to interrupt, but this is something that I wanted us to discuss. That people think that, you know how people will say that I want a traditional man, a traditional woman, whatever. Uska, the concept itself is so alien. People think that traditionally men are providers and women are just, they take care of the house and they have babies. But that is a very recent phenomena. That is not tradition. Like, that was tradition only after the factories were built, the industrial revolution.
yeah.
It happened during the industrial revolution. Pre that there was no tradition. So ये tradition जो है तुम्हारा, वो तुमने ही invent किया है. उसके पहले men and women more or less did equal amounts of work, because both, there was no one that needed to go to a factory, right? This tradition, quote unquote, concept came because one now had to be away from home.
So capitalism brought in tradition.
Yes. So when you say that you want a traditional man or a woman, you actually want equality.
No, this
Because
thing-
because actual traditional men and women do equal, put in equal work
yeah.
to build something together.
And like even when people are talking about you know, the when back in the days during the hunting era,
Yeah.
when people men used to go and hunt, dude, now there are archaeological evidence where they have found that okay, there were probably women who were also hunting. There was one evidence where they saw, I think it was either a skeletal remains or something, of a woman who carried her baby and she did hunting.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah, I mean, this men and women ka traditional thing is very nascent thing. You just want to go back to the 70s. That's what you want.
yeah, you don't want to go back to the
You
prehistoric
don't want to go
era.
back to your roots or what you're genetically wired to do.
Yeah.
Genetically, you're both wired to have ambition. That's the
And
real
like
crux and
remember
truth of it.
what was that guy's name, the liver king,
Yeah.
the guy who was like, oh, we need to go back to our roots, the prehistoric roots of
Yes.
us living in caves.
Huh.
And he was eating liver and whatever bullshit,
Yes.
the kacha bullshit he used to have. He would take steroid.
Yes, that is very much like roots.
Yeah, very much like how cavemen lived.
Forget about steroids, okay? You want to go back to the roots, reject modern medicine.
Also,
Don't take ibuprofen, don't take Saridon, don't take Drisprin, don't take your gas ka dawai, don't have Eno.
I think वो नहीं
Don't
लेते थे.
use western toilet, जाके बागान में हगो, उसको
खोद
गड्ढा
के.
करके खोद के उसमें
Exactly.
ढको. Do this.
हाँ, और
Go
पानी
back to
use
roots.
करो.
No.
तुम लोग
Why-
टिश्यू पेपर क्यों यूज करते
Yeah,
हो?
why live in this house? Build a mud house.
Oh yeah, he did build a, मतलब he built his bed.
Yeah.
Like इसमें कोई गद्दा वद्दा नहीं है. And I'm like, you're doing all of this
Yeah.
for what? To be
For views.
exactly, I know, obviously.
Obvious.
That was a rhetorical question. Plus, prehistoric people were not like a bunch of circles.
Circles.
He is
Oh, acha.
circle. His body
I
is
was
so
like, circles?
swollen.
I'm like, oh, yeah.
Like
Filler.
you see, just look at any like tribal community that has not had
Super lean.
yeah, because they need to run, they need to
Exactly.
climb trees.
लिवर किंग को 4 सीढ़ी चलने बोलो, उसका जो हालत खराब होगा,
घुटना टूट
उसका
जाएगा.
आर्थराइटिस हो गया है.
I don't get it. And
Yeah.
then people were like praising him before he was caught doing
See, if
Steroid.
anyone believed him in the first place,
yeah.
then तुम्हारा चूतिया काटना चाहिए. You deserve it at that point. Right? Like,
Yeah, but
who what the fuck is wrong with your brain? मेरा थूक निकल गया.
And you know, when he came out of his like he had his apology, he talked like, I am here for other men who are killing themselves every single day because of being insecure, and that is why I did it.
Oh.
And then I'm like, you probably put like 15 more insecurities in them,
Exactly.
which they didn't have.
Yes. And all because you have one big insecurity, that you have a small dick.
Probably, yes.
Yeah. See, anyone. Oh my god, I will get some hate for this, but I think people who focus too much on jacking up have small peepees. Just giving myself an excuse to not work out. I have big peepee energy. Doing this.
You will get comments. भाई इसका सच्ची छोटा हो. This will be a
मेरा
comment.
तो है छोटा इतनी कंफर्म करा लो, है कि नहीं?
और छोटा है,
इतने है,
दिखता नहीं है.
क्लीट.
Clit looks like a dick in front of
Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
The worst he can say is no.
You only said, you said.
The worst he
Confirm
can
karo.
say is no.
But
Yeah.
from there, coming to like insecurities,
Yeah.
that is a big thing.
What insecurity is
Any
a big thing?
insecurity is a big thing. Then it's like your insecurity. Like my own insecurity is a very big deal.
My insecurity is a very small thing because it's height and I'm small.
That's it. That was the point.
Some insecurities are small, like my pee-pee.
People will think you have like micro penis.
I do. It's true.
It is true.
Yeah, just making sure that no one ever hits on me ever again.
Wow,
Nahi chahiye
as if people were.
They were.
Who?
They do.
Who?
A lot of people. I won't
Say
tell
the
you the name,
name.
otherwise you will kill them.
Show me their faces.
No, you will.
Show.
You will do an unaliving of them.
Obviously.
Easily, I don't want people to be unalive.
मतलब नहीं तो मतलब कूद के गिर जाते हैं इसके ऊपर. रास्ते में चलने से everybody is like,
Exactly.
oh my god, who is this? Who is this?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
That is why I have been so many times in public.
Yeah.
Let's move on. You were talking about insecurities. Why are insecurities a big deal, do you think?
Yeah, that's what my question was. Why is it a big deal?
It's because, I mean, the modern world is just making you insecure. मेरे पास question समझ में ही नहीं आया. तुमको क्या सुनना क्या है?
कुछ सुनना नहीं है, just anything. No, insecurities are built.
Over time, yes.
Yes. So like, when I was younger, like when I was very young, when I was like 13, 14 years old, I don't know if it was insecurity, whatever, but I was like scared of getting fat. And now
I still am.
thinking about it makes me feel very disturbed, because I am pretty sure a lot of people, a lot of young ones have it, and even people who are bigger in size, they also have this thing. But because the standard is, oh, you need to look a particular way, like one particular way, and that is the only beautiful way to be, a body type, right? And we see that across like the internet. We see that in our For You pages, and that is upsetting. But back then, like even then, what did we see? We see celebrities, we see other, I don't know, musical artists, and we would be like, oh, that is what beauty is. And I would starve myself thinking that I will be compared. And I would, because school mein karate hota tha, and I would only probably eat like 2 meals a day. I don't know how I would have the energy to do anything, but I did have the energy to do things. But I would actually, so I would eat one meal and then I would not eat any meal, so that I'll be like, oh, I will not get fat.
Yeah,
I mean, another thing was like I was pretty ugly, so I thought that is the only thing I had was being skinny.
This was my thing in Bangalore. I used to eat one meal a day. and that was a grilled chicken salad. That's
Salad.
all I ate, and all the other time I was just drinking black coffee. That's it.
Oh my god. Your piss must be brown.
It used to stank.
Ew.
Yeah, but I would do that because I had actually gotten fat, and I used to hate myself for it, and just wanted to lose weight. And the moment I started doing this, because obviously immediate calorie deficit, right? Within a week I started losing weight, and I was like, good, and I gained confidence. I was like, okay,
Yeah, but
this
that
works.
confidence only lasts for some
Yeah,
amount
exactly.
of time.
And then it made me miserable and all of that. It
Yeah.
probably contributed to how sad I was over there as well.
Yeah, because
But
you're not getting enough nutrients. It's like
yeah,
your brain is not functioning properly.
but I think what people need to understand is that you think that uh, this is the ideal body type or whatever, right? But that's not the case. You know why that's not the case? It's because the ideal body type changes so much. Just go back a little bit, and chubby women were the type, because Marilyn Monroe and all of that. You've seen her, right? Like, I'll put up a picture of her. Like, that was the ideal body type for the longest time in the traditional era that you guys keep talking about. So if you want to be a traditional woman, be that. Eat a cookie, man.
No, but then
Be happy.
she was also wearing a corset, man. No,
That is true.
but then yeah.
My point being that ideal body type keeps changing.
Yes.
And if you go back even further,
No, you don't even have
fat
to.
people were the ideal body
You don't
type.
even have to go back that much. Go back to like the 2010s, 2014, 2015, when Kim Kardashian's body was like a big deal. Like even still now, like having a big booty is a bigger deal than being fully skinny. In like early 2000s, late 90s, being extremely skinny was a big deal.
Yeah, having
It
a
was
big
like,
butt was a like you're fat.
yeah, like having tits but no butt was a thing.
Yeah,
In
so
the
many movies.
yeah, in the early 2000s, but then like beauty standards change, and even it's changing now.
Yeah,
Like big booty is not a big thing,
no,
but
even
like it's a fitness body, like the mass, like the having muscles but then also having feminine kind
muscle
of
mommy.
yeah. But like people want that now, like the whole fitness thing is a
Yes.
big deal right
Yes.
now. People want to have those kinds of bodies.
And back in the era before democracy and all of that, obesity was the ideal body type.
खाना ही नहीं मिलता था किसी को.
Yeah, exactly. So if you had no, and okay, forget about that part, right? In the older Chinese regions, you look at the princesses.
Yeah.
Okay, the princesses were fat.
Even
Okay, you look at I think in Arabic regions or whatever. I'll find out and I'll attach a picture. But in that, the older princesses during that time, you know how they knew that a princess was attractive / fertile or whatever. What was the marker for that?
she has to be big.
Yes, one, she has to be bigger. What else?
What else?
Tell me what else. Come
I
up
don't
with
know
things.
what else.
Come up with anything. No.
She has to have one boob.
Yes. Exactly. I don't know how you guessed it. What else? There's two more.
Her toenails should be green.
I have no idea how you are guessing these so correctly.
Unibrow.
100% bang on. 4 out of 4 she's got. She has to have green
3
toenails, unibrow, really fat, and what else did you say?
One boob.
One boob. Uniboob and unibrow were the killer combo. So actually, a mustache. The princesses should have a mustache. A mustache indicated like they would keep their mustache and groom them.
Damn.
The princesses. That was the idea. So the thing is, no need to pressure yourself. You're not ugly. You're just born in the wrong time.
Yeah, the whole
Say
thing
it.
is
It has nothing to do with you. It's just society will keep building whatever fuck
Yeah.
all rules they will make. You stay yourself. Someone will find you beautiful.
and then another thing is the society does not want people to be people. They don't want women to be women. They don't want men to be men.
You sound like Andrew Tate right now.
I am the.
He said exact thing.
I am
The society does not want men to be men, and the society won't let women be women.
Yes, I am androgynous Tatemus.
Androgynous Tate Mus. We'll change your Instagram handle after this.
Because see, when anyone, even us, okay, even like progressive people also, when we think, okay, just close our eyes and think about women, we think of a very ideal
Thinking.
type of open your eyes. I already think of other women.
I'm thinking of you only.
Open your eyes.
But I want to think.
No. You are not, you don't think.
Okay, fine, I
Stop
won't
thinking.
think. Mm.
Yeah, he'll be cancelled very soon. I'm pretty sure. And it'll be only me doing podcast by myself.
I had stopped thinking for a little bit. I don't know what I did. Did I do something?
Just look back at the video.
Okay, fine.
And please delete that section. Anywho, I forgot what I was saying.
No, you're saying society won't let men be men and women be women.
Oh yeah, when we even think about women, like think about a woman, we will think of the ideal
certain-
type of woman in a society.
You have an image in your mind
Yeah.
of what a woman is.
But then, say if we take the case of even the female boxer who was considered as a man
Yes.
because she punched too hard. So yeah, she does not look like the conventional female,
yeah.
but but then you look at in our Indian moms, look at our Indian society. Every woman is not like, oh, uska naak chota hai, uska kamar patla hai, uski aanखें
Yes.
badi badi hai, uski
Yes.
hoंठ लाल. No. Every woman has facial hair. Every woman has different sizes nose. And so for men, like there are men who don't look like a man. And they go, what the fuck? Just
मेरे को देख के क्यों बोली ये चीज तुम?
because you're a man. Are you not?
No, you looked at me and were like, there are some men who don't look like men.
See, this is how
Why did you do
insecurities are.
this?
This is how some people
Yeah, but
will
you can't.
just bring insecurity in their life.
You brought it.
I didn't do anything.
You pointed at me and said, this is not a man.
Please go back and look at the section where I point at you and tell you. Don't
Like
look
this
like-
one, no. Some men are like this man and they have insecurities because, of course. Anyways, continue. Sorry for the interruption.
I can see who is the insecure one in this room. Anyway, but that's it. That's all I
Wow.
had to say.
Wow.
This
Is
is
that
how
what
you-
you do? You
this
just
is how
call
you-
it out?
This
Call-
is how you gaslight yourself. Just like how David Grohl's daughter or his wife will gaslight herself into thinking, oh no, my husband came out and told that I am
A1
going to-"
segue.
Exactly. I'm going to- she will say, or even some of his fans are
No,
like,
but I want to know the Dave Grohl story better. So start from scratch. No, what is the Dave Grohl story?
Dave Grohl was in Nirvana.
Okay. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was the drummer.
I just knew his name.
And then Nirvana, what is his name? Kurt Cobain. Wow, I said, what is his name? Please cut that part. Kurt Cobain died. Okay, let me give you
Unalived.
a lore. Yes,
give.
unalived. Pew. No, he didn't pew.
Give.
So there's some tea. So Courtney Love, Kurt Cobain's wife, she was deemed as a crazy lady. जो कि मतलब people were like, she's very crazy, she's a druggie, whatever. But she would speak her hearts out. And she back then was telling the media how much she dislikes Dave Grohl, because immediately after Nirvana, Kurt Cobain had passed away, he wanted all the rights for the music.
Quick interruption.
Allegedly.
Is this the same person, Courtney Love, who would also speak out against Harvey
Yes,
Weinstein?
her.
At the same time?
Yes.
She had gone in
Yes.
the public and said,
Yes, nobody was believing her.
don't go to parties where
Yes.
he invites you. Okay. Oh, so she would not stop to expose anyone.
Yeah, that's why she was deemed as the crazy lady, the druggie,
Yes.
and whatever. I don't know if she was deemed druggie, but anyway, this was the backstory. That's all. So he was not that nice, also. But I used to think that he was a nice guy. Anywho, but recently, suddenly, it came out. He himself exposed himself because he had posted something on his story. I think Instagram post, or I don't know where he was like, I am fathering a child outside my marriage, and so basically he will try to be a good father to that child, and he will try and regain his wife's trust. And I was
Don't
like,
regain.
how will that be, like, rebuild the trust that
Don't.
has, and I was like,
Stop building. You have built a lot. It's called a nest of lies. Just stop.
it was very upsetting because mostly people saw him as the cool dude, like a dad of like the rock
and
musician.
people, I hope his fans are disappointed in him.
Yeah, they very much are. Even this thing came from a fan of his only, where he was taking away he wanted the rights of Nirvana.
Yeah. He wanted the rights to all of Nirvana's music.
Yeah.
That is a problem. Come, Juno. Come here. Come here, come here. Come here. Sit.
जबरदस्ती पेटा है, पटक दिया. No, she actually wants to go out and sit. She has been trying to open the window from that time.
No, but
See?
थोड़ा देर इसको बैठाएंगे बैठ जाएगी ये थोड़ा देर में.
Oh my god, you're a helicopter parent.
Helicopter. Dig, 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 dig.
She's very angry because her mom, her mom forcefully made her sit. It's like that, tum go to a bazaar with your mother, and your mother finds another friend and she keeps talking, and now she's holding your hand also, and now you're like, fuck, I'm जा नहीं पा रहे कहीं.
वाओ, ये तुम्हारा एक्चुअल जिंदगी का स्टोरी है ना.
ये हर किसी इंडियन बच्चे का जिंदगी
मेरे
का
जिंदगी का
स्टोरी
स्टोरी है. मेरे जिंदगी में मेरी मम्मी बाजार कभी जाती नहीं थी, मेरे को ही भेज देती थी.
See, he's the mother.
एग्जैक्टली. और फिर मैं लड्डू और एल्पेल में चोरी करता था.
See, chore also. You stole it from your nana's dukan.
So what?
That is not stealing. It's coming back to the family.
हाँ, तो then if someone graped me, that is not grape from the family.
Stealing and grape is a very
They
different
stole my
thing.
virginity.
Sorry, Juno.
Is it not stealing if it goes back in the family only?
It is, sir.
My
Maybe
brain is
don't
not
talk.
okay.
Yeah.
I think I have not healed.
We were talking about Dave
Or I have
Grohl.
healed too much. Yes, Dave Grohl. Let's go back to Dave Grohl.
If you have healed too much, that means we need to unheal you.
Oh no! Let's go back to Dave Grohl. This topic I don't like.
Yeah, that's all. So now give your opinions.
He's an ass. He's just a bad person.
That's
and
all.
the wife should like लात मार के भगा देना चाहिए. बड़का सा एलिमोनी लो उससे बस.
Yeah, but I don't know if she will, because it's very difficult to just
Bro, I also have a feeling that in these sort of Hollywood type relationships, people are not people. Okay, like I
they are
don't think
lizard people.
I don't think the fame and all people can handle well. And I think if someone stays after something like that, something is wrong. Well, either they are both fucking around and only one had a child, or it's just weird. Like something
No,
is
I
wrong.
don't think so. It's not so easy for people to just be like, matlab, there's so much hurt, obviously, but that doesn't mean that it will be easy for them to be like, let's break up. I know.
Makes sense. That is what I also wanted to talk to you about, right? Let me ask you this question, right? If someone cheats is it like 100% guaranteed that you should break up, or are there nuances
No,
to
I
it?
think, see, that person, they are a person. They
Yeah.
have their own agency to decide.
Yeah.
As if I'm their friend, I will definitely be like, dude, leave. But then also, I saying that will also not help them fully, because it, leaving the fact that the other person has cheated, but this person has at least so much love for the other person, it will not just go away like immediately. It will take time, whatever, and that trust is broken, obviously.
Yeah.
That trust is wounded, it is broken, it is very very difficult, it's absolutely
पूरी तरह से
impossible to,
कभी recover नहीं होगा.
there will always be this shock in their mind that something is going to happen, something
Yes.
again will happen, that will always be there. But it is still not my thing to tell them, because they will know best.
So you're saying as a blanket rule, it's not that okay, if you got cheated on, you leave.
Yeah.
It's not. It shouldn't be a blanket rule.
No, I'm not, it's not a rule or anything. I think it should it will always depend on the person and how they
Let's
can
think
deal
of a
with it.
nuance. Like what under what nuance
No,
do you not leave?
there's no nuance. Like, how do I explain it? It's just personal to different people,
I
right?
understand that. I'm saying that my brain cannot fathom.
Yeah, that is your brain. I'm saying
Huh,
in general.
that is what I'm trying to understand, right? If you're saying that okay, there may be a scenario, or there may be a certain way that a person feels, right? Where they're like, okay, I'll give them a chance. What does that feeling look like?
So I will give a nuance, but I hope that person never watches this section
Okay.
of the video, and I hope you never clip this out and make it into a short or a reel.
Money.
Then I'm not saying.
No, I won't.
I'll stop. So, like, having being somebody from who is the minority community,
Mm-hmm.
and not, I'm not talking about myself, but then, and somebody who is from the minority sexuality,
Mm-hmm.
okay, where your family means a lot, or religion means a lot, but then also you're going against your religion and your family by being in this minority sexual relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And there also, so it is already very complex,
Yes.
because it has to be extremely scary
Yes.
to be there, and to be to always be on your tiptoes, thinking then what if I get caught, what if something happens, I will be shunned down from my family, I'll be shunned down, not just family, but from from the religion that I absolutely love, like,
Mm-hmm.
I respect that religion or not, that is my religion, okay. Now, even in that relationship, when something happens like a cheating, and then still they think that okay, I'll still stay, it is not because they can't leave or anything, it's just that they already feel that if they leave, they'll be isolated, they'll be left alone,
Mm.
and starting all over again, being that kind of a minority of a person in every aspect, and even being the minority in that minority sexuality pool as well. And that person knows that they'll never, it will be so much more difficult to again find another person to try all over again. I'm not saying it's okay, it's not my place to be like, hey, sahi hai, galat hai. I'm not
Yeah.
saying that, because a lot of times we do that sahi galat thing, and then we get into a trap of, oh no, that person did wrong, that person did right. It's very subjective, and I don't know. Like, yes, I will have my opinions. I will say if it is right or wrong. But then if they did or they didn't, that's up to them. If they can handle it, fine. But then I'm also saying that there are types where it becomes so much difficult for them to leave,
Yeah.
because there is more things that they'll feel even more isolated, even more alone when they leave, or when they let go of the other person and be like, no.
Yeah. But I feel like if sometimes if people stay after getting cheated on, sometimes it signals that कर लो कोई बात नहीं.
Yeah, obviously that gives like,
Like
oh, that's fine.
like if you indicate that you will never leave regardless, then what incentive is there for them to behave well in the relationship?
I mean, they
They
didn't
always have
behave
you
well,
regardless.
previously also. Yes, obviously, I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about why some people
Yeah,
stay. I'm giving you one
वो
example.
तो मुझे समझ में आ गया.
And I'm saying
कि
that
like even if you have not been cheated on, regardless, there needs to be, your relationship should not be in a way कि the person feels like they can get away with anything, right? And that does not happen via ये सब threatening that you will leave or whatever, but that happens via setting strict boundaries. Like even things like, you don't even have to be rude. Like if I shout or scream, even just saying that, I get you might be pissed, but don't talk to me like that. Just saying that, that's not rude, that's not disrespectful,
yeah,
right? But you need to set these things in your relationship time and again whenever you feel disrespected or whatever, because I feel like cheating doesn't just happen miraculously, right? Cheating happens when your boundaries, small boundaries have been demolished उसके पहले ही. मतलब कोई randomly अच्छा सा आदमी जो पूरी तरह से अच्छे से रहता है अचानक से cheat नहीं कर लेता है. Someone who has cheated has also done minor small disrespects to you which you have let slide.
yes,
And then they did the biggest disrespect of all, which is cheating. But they have done it before. They may have ignored you. They may have small things. They may have ignored you.
yeah, not
They
told you where they are going, with
they
whom
may
they are
have
hanging out.
lied to you about where they are. They may have you may have told them that I want to do this, and they might have they would have just, knowing that, remembering that, they would have said, they would have wanted to not do it. They would have not done it. You might have asked them for help in the house, knowing that you need it. They might not have done it. I'm mentioning small things, right? But people do these small things, I think, as a human mindset to test कितना इसको take for granted कर सकते हैं, right? And after a certain point of time, when
No, I
they
don't think so,
understand,
it's testing. I think that the thing is, we all make mistakes in a relationship, in any kind of relationship, and that will happen even in like romantic relationships where you will make those mistakes. But the thing is, even after that, when you're reconciled, when you're told that this is not okay for me, I'm not okay with it at all, regardless of what you are in, these are things I would want. Like if you're going out, I would like to know where you're going. It's fine you're going out, I just want to know. Or if you are hanging out with people, it would feel good if you tell me, like those things, lying and all those things are the normal, right? Wo sab to hai. Or even shouting accidentally, you raised your voice, and like, I don't know, anyway. But then the other person then still continues it, and then you also don't tell them, or you have not told them since the beginning also, because you kind of don't respect yourself as much.
I feel like it's also fear. Oh, don't leave me,
Yeah.
leave me,
Yeah,
don't
that
leave
is
me.
fear is there, because also you don't respect.
You feel like
If
तुमको
you-
और कोई नहीं मिलेगा.
If you respect yourself enough, you will also feel that I respect myself enough that if this person does not respect me, it's fine to let them go.
Yes.
So yeah.
I feel like ये सारे एडवाइस हमें ही कोई पहले दे दिया होता.
तुम्हें.
Both of us have been straddled and taken for granted a lot in the past. Say no. Say
No.
Your ex will watch it and be like, हाँ मैंने तो नहीं किया था.
Oh my god. Yes.
You did it, bitch. Anyways, thank you so much for listening. See you on the next episode. Bye.
Bye.